Ladies and Germans, how are you all doing? This is Con Ulrich.
And I'm Ringru, lo.
And guys, it has come. Now we have ourselves the second season of the Steel Division 2 League. And Vanguard, of course, is going to go over that in just a second about how it's structured, what we're looking at. And but today, of course, we are actually on Ostrowno. I think this is a map we haven't seen in quite a while, the two of us.
No, it has not.
But before I get ahead of myself, what's going on with the league now? What's going on with the league? Who we seeing? What's going on? Like, there's a lot of information here.
So, with the SD League Season 2, it's pretty much similar to the first season, as in it's a round-robin style tournament every single week, where everyone have a chance to play everybody. Whoever scores the highest in terms of victories, we'll moved on to the qualifying winners bracket, and that's when things definitely get interesting. I believe there's also an SC44 League going on at the same time as well. But yeah, great stuff. This is a fantastic time for us because there's a lot of very good replays. There's the best of the best go at it, as there's a lot of matches going on.
And speaking of matches, who's fighting on Ostrowno?
Well, on the left hand side in blue, we have Alexandre playing 5th SS Viking, and on the right in red, we have Le Tigre playing as 44th, both of them with a Vanguard income.
You know, it seems a little bit inappropriate to have one guy have Le Tigre and then not have any tigers to speak of, but...
I know. Ugh.
But maybe I'm just being a purist here. We are, of course, going to see infantry spam like crazy from the Russians out the gate, but we are actually also going to see an early mortar. And I feel like there's been so much underrepresentation of those stovepipes in the last couple of weeks from our replays.
Yeah, just good old-fashioned 81, 82mm mortars are very potent. They can pretty much secure you good infantry and town fight victories, even with inferior infantry, just because you can stun up that scary blob of Panzer Grenadiers or Strokey DPs.
Well, and that's certainly the question. We are going to have actually a Flammenwerfer opening over here from Alexandre. A couple of Pioneers, Peak Grants, of course. But the really punching power here is going to be this Panther just sitting on this main line and already starting to engage in infantry. That's going to be key for this early kind of, let's say, resistance from the Viking division.
Yeah, this is a map that definitely favors very good long-range tank play. So with those Panthers, he should be able to do a good job in just shutting down entire areas.
Now we are going to see up north a couple of T-34-85s. Will match up decently well against the Panthers. And we're going to see some Beuthen material from the German side also. So, you know, they give and they take between the two sides here.
I mean, if it works for the Russians, it should work for the Germans, I guess.
Early plane coming on in a... Okay, yep, we're going to have ourselves a little bit of a strafing run onto top of these guard squads. And there's no anti-air. Not that I really would expect it to be quite this early.
Yeah, and that should do some significant damage. There we go, completely pinning down the squad. And you don't need anti-air if you got yourself your own airplane. And anti-air is actually 2 anti-air pieces is being brought up. So Le Tigre, he's not messing about when it comes to air superiority.
Well, the 37mm as well. Yes, we're going to have another Jokers 88 coming on in. But that's going to be quite a bit of an issue. But not before I think this Yak dies.
And we got a 37mm coming in from Alexandre, so both sides are very much determined to try and secure the air power, which is something you don't see all too often. People usually just ignore it at this stage in the game.
Well, you don't necessarily have to worry as much about it, is the thing. Now, Mortar has not really done a whole lot of bombardment just yet. Although we are going to see the P-Grens and Ultimachiki kind of facing off here. Nothing too shocking.
Yeah, okay.
Ooh, okay, here we go.
They go through the town, and the Russian infantry are really making a headway through that forest. The Germans are just a little bit outnumbered.
If by a little bit you mean 3 or 4 to 1, yeah, it's barely anything, really.
Yeah. Yeah, the Pioneer squad is holding on rather well. It's going to hold the line. So yeah, I think Alexandre should be able to hold position just for now. But Le Tigre is bringing in those Guard TPs, reinforcements, and is spooling up that mortar to start pounding away.
We have a Berg Panther.
Woo!
Now, to be fair, he is just bringing in some anti-air equipment, but it's such a relief to see that guy. I mean, you barely see him in the first place. It's just kind of so much fun to see him.
Yeah, but we're also seeing a Mauta V-like Fagfigwerfer. I think that's how you say it, but it's also another cool thing we don't see all that often.
Ooh, you're absolutely right. Honestly, I can't even think the last time I've even seen that.
No, that's good old classic from SD44.
I confess my mind was just kind of drawn to the northern approaches here. We had a lot of Russian infantry pierce the German lines pretty successfully. And like you said, we have those 3 guard squads coming back in as well. What can be done really from Alexander's side of things? It doesn't really feel like he's losing any ground, but how can he kind of gain it?
Just keep throwing in pioneers in that forest. 5th SS has a very good infantry pool for Panzer Grenadier Division or Panzer Division.
IL-2 in the center, going after that Panther, and doesn't do it.
It's a high explosive cluster bomb. It's not.
I know, but you still expect something. Freaking him out, anything. I don't know, just something more than what happened. I suppose.
The high I don't know if it's even been buffed, but last time I've used that thing, it was terrible. I would never really recommend taking that plane. With the high explosive clusters, it is AP clusters. That's a different story.
But both sides are taking a moment of respite.
Mm-hmm.
The Big Panther is just going to continue to pull that 37mm forward a little bit further. And I guess they're going to kick back off in the northern forests between the guards and the Panzergrens.
Yeah,
and unfortunately,
guards, yeah.
Not going to go particularly well here. Here comes a quick surrender.
Yeah, Latiga really needs a little bit more focused, close support infantry, like have some cheeky, Zapparies, etc. Guard TPs, not really great in CQC. They're mainly a long-range machine gun squad and close-range infantry fighting.
He does seem perfectly content to continue dropping HE rounds, though, on this Panther in the center. Might even lose his IL-2.
Yeah, it's very... A little bit bizarre, yeah. As we can see, up Panther, he's probably, what's fallen out the sky.
Oof, and a long-range hit. Actually, I'm kind of fascinated as well. We actually have this PTRS squad behind enemy lines, and we have 2 Flammenwerfer squads maybe 100 meters distant. It's oddly charming. Unfortunately, this guards find it a little bit less charming that the Panther can see them from such a long distance.
And he's actually, spotting the Flammenwerfer squad for the mortars, which is very lovely. Yeah,
what a shame right now. He's not actually engaging these half-tracks.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, pretty quiet A phase, honestly. Nothing too crazy going on. Both of them are playing Vanguard, so it's kind of like two big forces just hitting off against each other right off the bat. So it's not all that unreasonable considering that there's a major breakthrough.
That is true. Meanwhile, to the north, oof, a very quick Aboltoledon takes out that one squad, forces that super fast surrender.
I know, it was at like 11 men, and now it's at none.
Yeah, that feeling has to suck, and at long last, we actually see the first tickets coming off here, 13-11 in favor of the Vikings. Now, I guess I'm kind of fascinated as well to see when this Wiederfachwerfer starts to actually start unloading its rockets. Because of right now, it's just really been, a bunch of points just kind of thrown down the drain.
I'm guessing he's gonna try and hit out like guard and PTRS blob, just right of that flag there, and then try to do a push. That's my guess. We got another class IR-2 bomber being brought in. Actually gonna use it against infantry this time, so might actually do something.
Half track actually.
Oh.
I think the infantry will be an unfortunate byproduct, and still doesn't kill.
Yeah.
Very interesting calls here.
Yeah, it's not a good plan. That's all I can say. Mortier, however, doing a little bit better, getting some nice impression on the infantry. But yeah, Alexander's holding the town. He's got the middle under control thanks to his long-range tank play. And infantry as well, those Panzer Grenadiers are pretty damn scary in a machine gun fight.
Well, and they continue to be even more scary as you can look down to the south. That southern forest is getting cleared out here, and if that happens, that mortar has no real support with it.
Mm-hmm. And that could really open up that southern side, because if he captures that forest, he could move up northeast, and that's just open ground.
Potentially, yes. He's got to watch out for these 3 squads moving towards that southern town. But they are going to be over open field pretty soon, and with material like that Flak 37 in the back there, that might be enough to kind of chase them away. But my guess is we'll probably see a dead Ju-88 before that even happens. Yep.
Yeah. Oh, is he going to crash into the infantry? Oh, a little bit of suppression. There we go. Just a tad.
Indeed. Unfortunately for those attacking Tanko Desantniki and the guards, not a whole lot can get successfully done there. Also kind of curious to see why that Yak decided to go over enemy lines, and he does pay the price. Man, it is a bad day to be in the air.
Yeah, both sides have really well-established anti-aircraft nets set up. I mean, up north we got 20 mil from Alexandre, or 2 20 mils actually, so it's not going to be a good day for airplanes, Khan.
And it seems so rare that it's a good day in the first place, but we actually are finally seeing some tank-on-tank action. I feel like we've not really seen any kind of vehicle engagements here. Of course, as I say that, the Panther is just playing, it's a shooting gallery for him.
Yep. Yeah, Panther at long range really does have the advantage over those T-34s. The T-34s are pretty bloody good considering, but you need a little bit more in terms of numbers, and preferably to get a little bit closer rather than just a long-range shootout, as the Panther has a superior gun and armor.
It would certainly seem that way. Now, we are going to see a bit of a resurgent push to the north. In fact, this T-34 is going to run afoul, though, of this Pigren in about, I would say, 20 seconds or so.
Yeah, maybe not the best idea pushing up T-34 like that. If it was T-34-76, I would definitely be on board, because that is disposable. If it was 85s, not so much.
Well, why would you want anything on a material to be seen as disposable in the first place is beyond me. Unfortunately for that tank, he is able to engage something. I mean, congratulations, you've killed a half-track. Whoop-de-doo.
Woo! Congratulations.
Exactly. Like,
now he's stuck behind enemy lines. And there's like 2 anti-tank weapons right there. Heck, even a Panzerweiser. This is something you really do not see a lot often. That is cool.
I think he's trying desperately to hold on until these 5 guards and 2 tanks come up. Actually, no, a second tank coming in as well. But still a very curious decision to be made there.
Mm-hmm.
In the meantime, we are going to see the Berg Panther actually get some shots off here, and the Panther starts to engage his next playmate. It looks like a 1943-85. Meanwhile,
Probably going to be another T-34.
Oh, I would certainly assume so. Almost as much as we're going to see probably a 15-10. Yep, sorry, 15-9 rather, coming up here. Yeah. P4s engaging infantry going over the open field. Yeah, would not want to be that, troops.
Yeah, that southern side is... I mean, those 2 far southern flags, even though there's nothing there, Alexandre just has the overall presence to secure said area.
And we're continuing to see as more vehicles get brought on in, it's just... Alexandre's tanks just are allowed to just engage vehicle after vehicle after vehicle with impunity.
Mm-hmm.
I am surprised this one tank is being allowed to kind of survive. He's moving southwest on that northernmost approach there. The point, like I said, the Panzerweiser has not really even moved to engage him. Bit of a surprise there. Central Hilltop will be a German hilltop in about 15 seconds or so, as a couple last flamethrower troops try desperately to hold the line against Pigrens, but that's not going to go well. We've all seen how that goes.
Yeah, no, this northern push, he's got a lot of guards, a lot of infantry, and the pioneers are actually out of, the leftly Gebiete so this could actually work. And also, that T-34 we're complaining about has managed to push through, and he's going to get to the other side here. So this might be able to do something, like shoot something as it comes across the road.
I think this has been kind of assisted to a certain extent by the lack of any kind of fire from the Vielfachwerfer.
Yeah. Oh, he's still here, isn't he?
Yes, he is. He's
moving
deploying
about.
south. We already see a couple of Vesps, though, so maybe we'll see some Vesps beginning to throw some artillery down in that direction.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't say for sure. What I can say is that the Tiger is coming in with a lot more of those T-34-85s.
Yeah, and you get a lot of them with the 44. They're really the T-34-85 span vision, which is good because that definitely puts you in a place to fight Panzer Division shots of 5th SS.
Certainly true. Now, unfortunately, for a couple of those T-34-85s, I feel like whenever we have 2 steps forward being taken, he takes 3 steps back, forget 1.
Yeah. Yeah, middle push for the T-34s. Probably could use some infantry or... I'd say recon, but recon isn't super useful. But it's just something in front to screen.
And I don't think he's going to have that.
No. But this northern push is working. He's picking up the pioneers and Panzer Grenadiers one by one. He just needs a little bit more infantry in that forest. He can completely capture this northern side and maybe start rupturing a hole in Alexander's north.
That was a Yaktus that wasn't it?
Yeah.
Unfortunately for him as well, even a Flak 38... Wow, when a Flak 38 is able to force back a T-34-85...
That is pretty funny. And it even... Did it?
maybe it was like the T-34-85? I don't know.
No, I think it was the Flak that killed it. The T-34 was deep in that forest. Oh, it might have been a Panther. It was like a hidden Panther down south.
We did have an off-map call-in, by the way, out to engage some of this southern infantry from the Germans. Unfortunately, I think he moved a little teensy bit too close and found himself, entered into the roles of heroes there.
Mm-hmm.
And additionally, we have all these Jagdpanzers, Stugs, Panthers. I mean, you're not going to succeed against all of that.
He's pretty much set himself up in a good old gun line fashion. And head on, there's not really much Latiga can really do about that, unless he gets a boatload of T-34s. But that's kind of pushing it.
The Soviets were all out of boats at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Now, to the north, we are going to see at long last, Pac 38 is going to totally engage T-34 from super close, and what's that, a few hundred meters? I think he should have a kill here pretty easily. Wow.
APCR shells.
Oh, yeah, good point. Crit City, but no kills.
Yeah.
And just like that, the entire push is dead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it has a pretty good hotel from Alexander. He's got the infantry reinforcements in. Just yeah, and Lasiga is now really down in terms of points.
I guess the thing's kind of surprising to me, for one, is that we're not seeing, first of all, really any committed use from the Vesps or the Vielfachwerfer from Alexander. I feel like that push would have been stillborn.
Mm-hmm.
Had there been just the tiniest bit of emphasis on using that artillery to its more fullest extent. And I also feel bad for these Tanko Desantniki coming in their half-tracks as they're getting shellacked by the Tiger and the P4 and the Panther, excuse me, and the P4 and the Jagdpanzer.
This is one of every Panzer.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, what do you have? Well, I got a couple Molotov cocktails. We don't drink. Don't worry, neither do I.
Let's see what you put in egg cocktails. Jeez, I think it'd kill you.
Oh, certainly let a fire in your heart.
Mm-hmm. We got a lot of guards up north and off maps, so Latiga, he's not giving up.
Well, kind of hard to give up if you know you're going to go back to the Stavka High Command and get shot. But it is 18-6 right now, and Alexander, he's just following this up. And now we have Vesps that are starting to engage here. Are we going to see any kind of... No, we're not going to. At 5,300 meters, I'd really expect to see some kind of impression to the north, but that is not going to happen. Instead, we have a couple of squads who are just behind enemy lines, just hoping to do some kind of dirty business here.
Yeah, the kill Stern Pioneer squad, but those guards won't be guarding much longer.
Nope. Even more so when some of these guards are coming across this open field, they're either getting hit by anti-tank guns, or just sheer dumb luck. Fefa, do something. You're 100 points, man. Do something.
Has he still not shot it?
No, he's not. 96 rockets just hanging out in those racks.
Yeah, this is bizarre. That's really... Yeah, it's... I'd be dying to use that thing. But I guess he's...
Yeah. You put a lot of money into that rack. And now this cast has been marked on SFW. We do actually... Was that a... Oh, SU-152 is in the field. Unfortunately, not going to be in the best position in the northern side.
No, and it's... No, not really. It's really more of an infantry support vehicle, and it's getting pounded away by a Pak-38. Yep.
Well, the Pak-38 certainly is one of those things that can penetrate as well.
Yeah, the SU-152 is pretty light in armor, all things considering, unlike its ISU brethren. But it's, you know, when it shoots its HE gun, whatever's on the other side, if it's shot, usually dies.
Now we're going to have one more artillery strike coming down on top of them, and we have, but the Panzer B share, would he be able to actually engage at this range? No. No, he's about 300 meters shy. That's rough. But hey, you know what? It's strange to think that the Germans can just kind of throw bodies at this and still come out ahead, but I feel like that's exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah, oh!
There we go!
There we go! He was waiting for the perfect target. That was the SU-152. And also, yeah, he really doesn't like our SU-152. That's gonna be a lot of airplanes.
Wow, that's a unique decision. He might freak out the T-34. That was a very unique call. I'm not sure I would have done that myself, but hey, if it works, it works. And there we go.
God, that rockets, they just last forever. That's only like half the ammunition.
Yes, it is. But that's kind of the thing, though, too, is that... Oh, wow, that's just eventual shock damage. I think he took out the 152.
I think it was the Panther.
Oh man, you're taking away all my fun today.
These Panthers just keep sneaking in, you know? Sneaking in and...
That's
frisky.
That's a big cat's hunt, man. But in the meantime, we are going to see this last little shreds, I would say, of a Soviet defense to the north. Probably the best thing that's happening over here for the Soviets is that they haven't lost their anti-air pieces yet. That's the only thing that's really keeping them competitive, I would argue, on the southern side.
Yeah, but there's not much on the southern side now. Alexandre's pushing into the town. I mean, yeah, he's pretty much just mopping this up at this point.
Well, he's not using pioneers, which is interesting, but that's more of a nitpicky thing than anything else. What if he would start engaging the town with those Vesps? At the moment, it's not happening, but...
Yeah, so the rest was... I was completely blind to him.
Well, they fired a couple rounds after the mortars, but that hasn't really done a whole lot with them.
Yeah. Yeah, I just feel like this one, yeah, Alexis has a solid front line. Doesn't really need to buy much else. I mean, if you look at Latiga's side, there's not much of his stuff that is still alive. Most of it has died. Horrible and bloody deaths.
You have certainly spoken the true. I was watching this town fight. It's kind of ferocious.
Yeah, Panzer Grenadiers up close are actually pretty scary. Because they can shoot the machine guns up close on like an SC-44, so...
Yeah, that was the only way to defeat them. Get close, guys, but they have a machine gun. Don't worry, under 300 meters it doesn't work. Ugh, that was rough. But the Berg Panther is actually going to be the one delivering the coup de grace to that city. I think he's going to get in there just in time to engage that last squad of infantry.
Yep.
But coming along with that, the Panther, of course, is engaging last couple of T-34s on the field. Do not think they are long for this world, but that's exactly what happens, I suppose. So, what would have been a better attempt to push back the Vikings here? How do you save yourself from those devils?
Yeah, that's a good point. This map definitely doesn't favor 44th in terms of the long-range tank battles. He could have probably gotten that Northern Forest. He had more specialist CQC infantry and a lot bit more aggressive with his mortar plays. He really wants to try to stick like in that Northern Forest and also try to take the hill, because that's a pretty good spot to take as well. Close, looking for like close to medium range firefights where you can spam T-34s in and really deny the use of long range heavy anti-tank play. But also 5th SS, I mean, it's very meta division. It's pretty like one of the best German divisions, I would say. And that is because they just have that infantry spam. They are really good as an infantry division. And they're not even an infantry division. And holy crap, look at the kills.
I know.
Very sorry, Latiga.
I did seriously not think it was quite that severe.
Same. It didn't feel that bad, but...
But then we look at the Panther like this Englishman here, the Englander. And, what, 1, 2, 3, 4 tanks. The off-map. A couple squads of infantry. That man right there is a killing machine.
Yeah, and it's pretty sad that the kill side is a
little
not even a
anemic.
page, but it's pretty impressive. I'm not going to lie. Considering he survived 24 minutes, only getting 410 kills.
Exactly.
Like, that's. I mean, usually when you get like such like differentiating KD ratios like this, it's usually like a 10-minute match. So I give Tigger the credit in that regard.
That is certainly true. But for our first cast over here into the new season, Rang, how do you feel, man? Do you feel like it's back? Good to be back, or?
Yeah, it's just good to be doing SC League again. It's really my favorite part of SD2.
I certainly agree. So, folks, we do have a couple other killer replays coming over here this week for you. Do check in with those. I guess for the next couple of days. Until next time, I'm Con Ulrich.
I'm Rangru. Take it easy.